Okay, hello everyone. My name's Sugi Yamagawa, and today on VTubing My Slow Life Hobbies in My 30s, we're going to be sharpening tools. We're going to be showing our tools maintenance and some much needed love because, well, they need some much needed love. I've got my axe here first. We're going to be, well, this is actually my splitting axe. We're going to be showing this some love first. This is going to be the first project tonight. Then from there, we'll work over to some chisels, and from there, we'll finish it off by sharpening the chainsaw. So, kind of just a quick brief overview of what we're doing here today. So, today's going to be kind of like themed around maintenance and taking care of tools, because it's important to take care of tools, and it is also important to make sure that you take the time to take care of yourself as well. And this is just kind of, so it's funny how all this got kind of like themed out this way. Earlier this week, I was actually pretty sick. Towards the end of last week, like Thursday, Friday, I basically had like a really runny nose, which I was just like, oh, seasonal allergies, whatever, no big deal. But then by Saturday night, going into Sunday, I had a real scratchy throat, and I was like, oh no, this is definitely ick. And then eventually by Thursday morning this past week, my throat was just like downright gravel. So I'm real thankful at the beginning that I've put all my streams towards the back of this week. So, and also another reason why I'm doing 3 streams this week is because I have a trip coming up, and I won't be as around as much because of said trip. So that is enough yammering, enough yapping. Also, you guys might notice I'm experimenting with a little bit of a different camera angle here. So far, I kind of like it. So we'll kind of see how it goes. But yeah, we gotta show this guy some love, some very tender love via files, which I have down below. We're gonna kind of talk. But first, I kind of just wanted to show you guys like the kind of damage we got here. This upper part here, you can see that is like really rough, and then we get down to the middle side, it's not too bad, but then we got a couple of chips down here. It's definitely at the point where it really needs a good sharpening. Really needs some TLC, because I am very abusive with this tool. Well, yeah, but also because I do a lot of, so due to the nature of, how do I say this? Where my firewood was dropped off, because my firewood was dropped off in my driveway, and some of the pieces are really large, too large to the point to safely move. So I split the firewood where it was, I split the wood where it lay, and due to that, this tool has seen a lot of abuse because past the wood, there's just concrete. So that's actually kind of where some of the more rough gouging that I showed earlier on this area, where that was coming from. That's where that was coming from. So for axes, some people think you should use some people use a whetstone for axes. Me personally, I don't. I usually go the file route, and I actually have 2 files here, just because I kind of want to show everyone here the difference between different types of files. So you've got files like the one I'm currently holding, which is a cross-grain file. So if I bring this in, and if my camera plays nice and focuses, you can kind of see that there's a diamond pattern to it. Like, these lines crisscross down the file. Versus this file I am holding here, the lower file, that one has all the lines are in parallel. There's no like crossing lines or anything. That's because this file cuts in one direction, this one. Whereas this file, this cuts in 2 directions. So this one you can go back and forth on your blade and sharp, and it will take material off going in both directions. Whereas in this one, it only cuts in one direction. So this is the one I like to use. This is Also, just a pro tip for anyone out there: don't buy your files online with other stuff and have it shipped in cardboard boxes, because I bought some files once from a big box store and I had other stuff in the cardboard box. And because these files are just like a piece of metal, you know? I don't have any like loose nearby right now, but yeah, the files literally just busted through the packaging. And there's probably like a file in someone's like delivery truck, or like maybe in, or even funnier, in a conveyor belt somewhere. I would like that. Because I did not get my file. Well, I think 2 files. I think I lost 2 files in that. So, we have good old Vice Coon. Actually, this is gonna work out really well. This is gonna work out really well. Ha-ha! I'm potentially excited about the angle and such, but I do need to get something under the bottom of it, maybe to brace it. I don't know. I don't super good to brace it, but yeah, we're just really gonna get started here. So I'm gonna kind of focus a little bit more up here, simply because that's where I'm having some of my worst issues. And I'm just gonna start by doing strokes, starting from the bottom, coming up. And what you want to do is you kind of want to maintain the same angle, because that's going to maintain your bevel. And this is literally what sharpening an axe is with a file. It's just a lot of repeating of what we're doing right now. And I am gonna kind of work around my like going in and out. I need to. At one point in time, I had some light under my workbench, but it was terrible for things. I actually really need to improve the lighting here. My lighting situation is okay, I think. It's generally fine. It's just my physical body, if you will, is right in between where my lights are and the object that I'm trying to have lit up. So I'm gonna just step back a little bit here. And yeah, this is gonna be the thing for a little while, just because of how, because this is pretty rough as far as like blades go. Well, as far as the level of abuse, because I mean it literally was hitting concrete, and that's kind of why the blades get pretty ultra chipped. And also, I was actually using this to split some firewood shortly before stream, and I can affirmatively confirm that this needs the care it's getting right now. So, kind of position myself around a little bit, kind of like move my head side to side, just to make sure I am doing what I wish to do with the bevel. Mostly because I want to really make sure I keep that bevel where I want it. And I also kind of like doing like sliding, where I start at one and kind of bring it across. I really like doing those strokes. But yeah. So, you might be wondering, hey, maintenance. This is necessary, but can you not like waste my time with this? But the thing is, the reason I kind of wanted to do this as like a stream is because I wanted to do something chill, but I also wanted to do something to show, to kind of sort of highlight the importance of one, taking care of what you got, with that primarily leading into taking care of yourself. here on this channel and my personal beliefs as an individual and various other things, I am a huge advocate for people taking care of themselves. So my advice here, that's going to kind of get in the way of me addressing some of this area. So I'm going to have to be a little bit creative with taking care of that side of it. So, but yeah, what I'm trying to kind of like relate. I'm wanting to yammer about maintenance and not only just tools, but also like in the sense of personal well-being. Because I don't think that's something that gets talked a lot in the digital age. Because a lot of things for a lot of people are kind of just go, 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 do, do, do. And I don't think that's particularly healthy. I think it's real important to slow down. And I can say this from personal experience here recently of... It's looking alright. Blades look. So you actually can't see the side I'm sharpening, but once I turn this around, you'll be able to see it, and you'll see it looks a lot better. You'll see it looks a lot better, but there's... So, I was having a little bit of bad headspace at one point this week, and that was mostly because of all the projects I'm trying to plan, coupled with me wanting to put a little bit more, well, not just a little bit, that was one of the problems, more effort into the channel. And at the end of the day, I basically had to be like, hey, being quote-unquote successful is all fine and good, but I don't really see the point of it if I'm not happy nor having fun with it. Because that's kind of what I started doing this for. I started doing this mostly because, well, yeah, I'm gonna have a bit of a cough today. I primarily started this because I thought it would be fun. And I've had fun. I've had plenty of fun doing this, and I've also gotten to like interact and talk to some really cool people who also do this, and it's definitely been a life-enriching pursuit for me, and that's a good thing, but it's still also very important for me to remember that's also important to take time for yours truly. And that in the hustle bustle of life, and also the incredible hustle and bustle of springtime gardening prep, it's easy to lose sight of that. Lose sight of all the... Oh, we'll have some bad chips here. Here. I mean, I'm pretty much doing what I need to be doing here, but ooh, good golly gosh, the amount of work. But generally, when it comes to if I'm trying to like work out a real bad chip, I'll just work on it some, like one day, and then I'll come back to it. So, like another like life example of that is like, hey, you will not, if you're not taking care of yourself, you will not solve that in one day if you get like too far gone. To be continuing to talk about the axe analogy here, if you're just a little bit unsharp, that's easy to like resharpen up, rehone, and you'll be like, good. That's really not a hard thing to do. But if you let yourself get too far gone in terms of like taking care of yourself and maintenance and such, then it becomes a lot harder to make up for that lost ground. So, in which case you'll be like me here, just continuing to shave metal away on this chip. But one thing to think about one thing I think about is, even though I may not get it 100%, I will still get it better than what it was. And for me, I always try to focus on being just a little bit better. Because whenever you're trying to like do something in your life, you're wanting, a lot of people want to be like good quick, people want to get like good quickly, they want to be successful quickly, different things like that, or they want to see improvement very quickly. And there's nothing too wrong about that, unless you let it get to you. Because you do not want it to get to you in such a way in which it stops your progress moving forward. And that is like the worst. That's like the worst, in my opinion, is wanting to start the journey of becoming better as a person and then stopping like halfway because you got burnt out. Like, nah, it's better to go slow and steady on that route. Because, and also, I will say it also depends on who you are, where you're at in life, and also like the amount of stuff you've got going on, you know? Because, yeah. Because, I mean, so for me, I generally see myself as being fairly somewhat dialed in as a person. But I also know in some ways I'm kind of lying to myself when I say that. Because... Ooh, actually I should probably... Send this a little bit over this way. But yeah, it's... how do I say this thing about myself? I don't know. But I suppose I have a whole stream to think about that. Oh wait, I was talking about being relatively dialed in, but oh yeah, okay, so that's kind of like another thought, and so I've got kind of another thought I want to expand on, but I need to get this axe out, and I want to check out my progress, because I feel like we've removed a decent amount of material. Oh yeah. Okay, so here's kind of like our new edge, our new bevel, if you will. Looking pretty good, very shiny. Still have some... We still got some pretty bad chip in there, but as we can see along the edge, getting into here, not terrible. Down, I still have some bad chipping down here. Got like a really bad spot, like right there, but so I've got one bad spot here, still kind of bad here, but otherwise, I think this is going to turn out really well. Ooh. Okay. So, now I have to do a very tricky thing, and that's flip my axe around. And the problem is, I have a wall. I have a literal wall. So, but we're gonna try this out for the short term. That should be reasonably good. Okay, I'm gonna have some tea. Ah, tea. Lovely. So, the other thing I was wanting to kind of talk about, and that is when you wish to improve on so for me, I sometimes get a little too caught up in my desire to constantly improve. Like, it's like, I gotta go further, I gotta do a little bit more, I gotta push myself a little bit more, all that type of stuff. That's me expecting too much of me, and that's not what I want to do as a person to myself. It's not good to treat yourself that way. It's not good to constantly expect progress, especially even more so if you get like a little bit under the weather like I did earlier this week. So you gotta learn to be kind to yourself in a way, in terms of your ability to what's the word I want? Brandon, I actually have like a really great view of my blade here, so I really like that. That's good. But you gotta learn to be kind to yourself, and because having ambition is, in my opinion, genuinely a good thing. I think a lot of people kind of... Ooh, how do I want to... You know what? I gotta move this. Because I want my axe... I want it further back. I want it a bit more closer towards me. Because I really want to hit this, but it's really hard when my vice is in the way. Or it could... You know what? That is probably that's the correct answer. That is the answer, even though this means I have a lot of vice closing to do. I have a lot of vice closing ahead of me. And I'm also sorry for the thing kind of being out of view for a little while, but don't worry about it. We'll slowly get it back where we want it. But this is actually going to be better, and you know what? I think if I play my cards right, we will actually... I might be able to just flip the vice around. No, I won't. that was a dream of mine. That was a short-lived dream of mine. Okay. Let's see. That's reasonably well secured. Let's see here. How's my angle of attack? Like this. It's reasonable. One of the problems with sharpening, as with many other things in life, is they don't always go according to plan, or you won't have like the best way to position yourself to tackle the thing. Generally speaking, I feel like whenever you're working on a project, you always want to take a little bit of time to... If you don't think you're tackling it in the most optimal way, taking a little bit of time to refocus is going to be tremendous to your efforts. I feel reasonably happy with my blade from here to here. I'm reasonably happy with that. So we're going to be turning most of my attention to this last bit. My troublesome child, my troublesome bone, my humongous area for improvement. An area that is absolutely needing to be filed down by a lot. But I'm not going to probably get to 100%. Because like I mentioned earlier, getting it to 100% is just going to take too long. I can make it better. I can make it better. I can make this area sharper. And also with it currently being positioned how it is, I feel pretty comfortable tackling both sides in something of a do a few strokes for one side and do a few strokes for the other. So axes generally as a rule, pretty easy to maintain. Really easy. Well, with wooden handle axes, there's a little bit more to them, but as far as like blade maintenance goes, like you really just want to make sure you don't have any chips, make sure you keep the blade, all that good stuff. Don't abuse yours by splitting wood on concrete like the guy who is sharpening an axe right now is doing so. Or but you know, whenever you abuse something, a tool, yourself, there is going to be a maintenance price for that. And now I am paying that maintenance price. So, it is what it is. But I'm slowly seeing this come together. And I'm really liking what I'm seeing, though. Because it is getting better. And that's that's the good thing. That is the good thing. And as far as like me trying to be dealing with somewhat serious topics while also just doing like basic, hey, I am just a guy living my best life right now. Thought stream is other side's a bit more. Try this out. I want to see how this feels. Remember, kids, your files have two sides. Feel free to make use of both of them. But yeah, as far as improving yourself, getting a little bit better consistently will do you much better than rapidly improving all at once. I feel like a good example of that might perhaps be working out. Because some people who get into working out, they think, oh, I just want to like get like big gains, or I want to get like fit, or I want to lose weight, and they think they want to accomplish their result quickly, or they expect quick results. And one of the things with stuff like, oh, did that drop out? No, I don't think I got drop flames. No. People will just really see how I mean, I'll eventually be able to like pivot this towards you guys to a point where you can kind of see the stuff I'm doing a little bit better, but yeah, this is gonna be, yeah, this part of the axe is just gonna be like a lot of work, but that's fine. It's worth it in my book. It's always worth it. Oh dear, I need some water. It's worth it to improve. Well, show a little bit of love, get a little bit better, and it will serve me better. For example, right now, this axe earlier was not doing super wonders for me. But that's also because it was in really rough shape. After today, well, actually, here, soonish, this is gonna go from pretty rough to like, okay, I actually have a reasonably sharp blade area, coupled with, it's a little dull at one of my ends, which is fine. Now, if if I had a grinding wheel, I can make this happen a lot quicker, but I don't own a grinding wheel yet. Currently, grinding wheel is on my tool wish list at some point. But I definitely want a drill press before then. But yeah, eventually I will have a grinding wheel in my shop at some point. I hope. We'll see. Hopefully I don't get too ambitious with my projecting and I spend too much money on materials, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to get... So, I'm actually wanting to replace my water heater at my house, and I'm hoping to get rebates for that, sorry. And if I can get those rebates, I will be able to make my water heater upgrade at very little cost to me, and if I can make that happen, that will free up a lot of money in my budget for this year. So then I get to think about buying new tools, and that makes me very excited and happy. There's always something slightly magical about new tool day, especially when... Ooh, excuse me. Oh, dearie. Ooh. Especially when it's a tool I've never had. Like when I got the new miter saw, that's that way. Last year, that was it was nice because I went from having like an okay miter saw to a nice one, and was definitely a nice quality of life upgrade. But because one of the tools I want to get is a drill press at some point, and if I can get a drill press, oh boy, I'll be able to make really accurate holes. I'll be able to do a lot with a nice drill press. As far as like quality of builds and things I do here. Right now, some of my stuff that I've built, I honestly look at and I'm like, kind of think it's a little mid, if I'm being honest. But that's fine. That's fine. Here. Slowly, methodically, getting closer to where we want to be. Actually. Oh man. So yeah, I do want to dream of having a drill press in here at some point, even though I don't have the greatest amount of room in my shop, but who knows. I'm probably gonna take a look at doing some serious organizing in here once I get my new garage doors, which I have already paid for. I just gotta literally wait for the place to build the doors, and then they will ship them to the installer company, and then the installer company will be like, hey, Mr. Yamagawa, when would you like us to come by and install a new garage door for you? Which is gonna be nice because it's gonna have like real nice big windows on it. And I'm actually hoping with those real nice big windows to do a little bit more off-season gardening. Is actually one of my big goals and ambitions, because my garage door faces east and gets a lot of that morning sun. I'd say in winter it probably gets like a good 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. So I think I could grow lettuce and maybe some other small vegetables all winter long, which I would love that. I would absolutely adore that. I've actually grown tomatoes in a container that I had on basically casters. And then when the weather was nice, I would take the tomato plant outside. And it would get lots of outside light. And then at night, I would bring it in if it got like below freezing. And I was actually able 1 year to harvest fresh tomatoes off the vine in January. Which was like one of my weird gardening experiments, but so I'm really optimistic with between my cold frame that was recently built and let's see, I got the cold frame build, and then with the window upgrades, I'm hoping to have a pretty nice ability to grow veg in the off season, which that's the goal. That is the goal. I would love to do that. Okay, can I do a tilt doodles? Oh, as you can see, got this area really kind of rough. Of everything else, it's looking good, but I don't know. I'm gonna continue to work this little bit of area for a little while longer, and then after that we're gonna switch up and we'll start doing some stuff with the chisels, because I'm not gonna spend an entire stream just sharpening one tool. Like I've got other tools in maintenance, and also it's kind of important. And that's kind of sort of the thing when you're sharpening near the end, you're more likely to fly off the end and womp yourself a little bit. It definitely has gotten better though. Chips aren't as large because I filed away a lot of material, but the thing is it just takes so much material to remove to actually bring a pointed blade back. I might be looking at a real long time before I actually have a full proper blade edge here where I want it, but that's fine, personally. Because I'm not doing a whole lot of cutting with just this end, but getting it sharper when this part hits the wood, this is going to eventually sink in, and getting it a little bit more sharper will kind of help it pierce into and get into the wood a little bit more. And it won't have as much of a blunt tip. I will have less of a blunt tip with this, though. At the end of the day, I think that's going to be the main thing I'm going to try and go for this axe. Yeah. I mean, it's honestly almost looking worlds better. And oh yeah, you also don't want to go in with like a suit with like a whole large amount of force. You just want to be like real nice and easy with it. But yeah, that's just kind of how it goes. Just want to be like real nice and easy with it. Otherwise, if it feels like it's being like too resistive, you're putting maybe a little too much force. You want to have like a nice slide, which you want to make like lots of small metal shavings, which I have down here, which is like, yay, powdered steel. Okay. I think this is enough of this. So, files. I'm gonna set those off to the side. And I'm gonna free up my axe here for my vise, and we'll get it out. We'll take a look at it, see how much progress we've made, all that good stuff, you know? Whoop. Okay, so as you can see, I want to evaluate for myself a little bit. Yeah. Yep, that's going to take a while to file. So yeah. Okay. So here's what we got. Here's the blade. That current shiny bit that is got. So this is the end that had all the issues right here. You can see that we've got a really long way to go. Kind of missed this chip a little bit, but next side, it's a lot better than what it was. It is tremendously better than where it was. It's actually the main broad focal point here to here. That's actually a lot sharper. Pretty happy about that. So this is going to be the axe. Done. Well, done for now. Like myself, it's a work in progress. Okay. So, bench vise off to the side. We're kind of not needing it. I'm going to take my gloves, kind of clean up my work area of dust. Because things are going to... Because we're going to be playing with some water here. Now I'm going to finish off my tea. Okay. So, he's done. That's good. Oh. Wait. I gotta check a thing. Sorry. Yay, no surprises. Cool. So, this is... So this is a... This is like a bath mat. Also, you'll see these in people's drawers to keep stuff from sliding around. So, I got paper towel. Okay. So, I'm gonna set my chisels here, and we're gonna just take these out. And one by one, look at them. We'll kind of evaluate them, and we'll kind of... Well, some of these I know just need a little bit of TLC. This one in particular just needs a little bit of TLC. And so... this is my King Deluxe 1000 grit whetstone. So this is actually the whetstone I use to keep my chisel blade sharp, planer blades. This is also what I use to keep my kitchen knife sharp, all that fun stuff. I also have diamond plate, what this is, and this is used to help keep this flat. Here's the packaging. But yeah, I got these off Amazon a long time ago. I just tried to dip it in water. Keep it wet. So, it's whetstone. Want to keep it wet. And, so, just kind of, we're going to do a bit of a brief yap. And that is, because earlier, on a previous stream, I was talking with someone and we were talking about cost of tools. Some people think you should spend a lot of money and have nice tools. Sure, if your budget lets you do that. More power to you. In my case, this whole set of chisels I have was $10 at Harbor Freight. But I have really nice whetstones. So, what the whetstones allow me to do is take care of these chisels in such a way where I can put a really nice and like honed edge on the chisel, and I can get a fair amount of use out of it. Granted, some of the ends of some of these chisels have seen some better days, which, as you can kind of see, we got some serious mushrooming here with some of them. But hey, these are $10 chisels, and you know what? If I ruin the handle, I'll actually make a handle. I actually have some good sized pieces of oak that would probably make for some okay chisel handle. So, yeah. Buy cheap tools, but also take care of them well, or have like good blades. So for chisels, really just want to get the blade, get your bevel on your whetstone, and you just drag it across. And you just repeat that as oftentimes as you deem necessary to get a blade. Well, to get a good edge. You always want to be like changing the area that you're using on your whetstone. So that way you're not like filing away too much of a part of your... So I have this is a really narrow blade. This is my 1/4 inch chisel. It was not too bad to start with. So I feel like those passes helped get this a little bit sharper. Yeah, that definitely feels a little bit sharper. But not only do you want to do those passes I just did now, you also want to do a pass where you take the backside, because when you do your sharpening on this side, it will create a fine burr on the back of this. And you want to just do one quick stroke to just take care of that burr. And now this is sharp. Granted, how optimistic do I want to be about this? Okay. We're going to go into this with some serious optimism. Or I'm going to look bad. Chances are I will look bad. Hey, it's a stream. It's supposed to be fun. So we got paper. We have this little... Doesn't really show... If I just poke it through, it doesn't show it. But I do. Oh yeah, that's pretty sharp. Hey, paper, we're gonna... You're gonna be the victim of more chisels. So, yeah, that's the 1/4 inch done. But yeah, by all means, whoop. By all means, buy cheap tools, but put good blades on them. Like, buy Ryobi if you can afford Ryobi. Or if you can afford Ryobi plus a little bit extra, buy a Ryobi tool, and then stick a good blade in the thing. You know? So this is my 1/2 inch. Oh, how much action? I know some of my chisels are kind of rough. I know that. Well, not kind of rough. Like, honestly, the worst blade we're going to see today is the axe blade. The axe blade's me at my worst. These blades are definitely a little bit more cared for, a little bit more loved. Okay, so did those strokes, as we can see, have really nice, fine, almost mirror polish on that. So, then let's do And then a little bit of that. That should be... Doesn't feel as sharp, though. I'm going to do a few more strokes. It didn't feel as sharp as the 1/4 inch. That it did not. So we're going to keep playing with this until we get it sharp. Because I think I've been using this one a lot for Japanese Sawhorse one build, and this chisel in particular is actually going to be doing quite a bit of work towards the end of the build. Because one of the last things I gotta do. Okay. Ooh, okay. Felt like that. Okay, so one corner, that corner. I really feel that burr. I really feel that edge. I kind of feel it there. So we're close. We're really close on that. So we're gonna get there. I am exceedingly optimistic. That's kind of like a thing you want to do, is like every so many strokes you just feel it, which more strokes and we'll have it. Okay, so I'm gonna do that and whoo. Woo. Now, going back on the subject of cheap tools and also cheap tools from Harbor Freight, sometimes the backs of these chisels will not be perfectly flat, in which case with a stone like this, you can just work your chisel like this back and forth across, and you can use that to flatten the back, which I believe I've done that with a lot of these. But yeah, I always dip it in water, and every time I dip it in water, we just do a few swirls with the diamond plate. And basically what the diamond plate does is that it flattens out the surface of my kingstone. So that way I get a nice consistency. So let's grab Paper Coon over here and see how this do. Well, I consider that reasonably sharp. Chisel 2 is done. Yippee! Granted, I think the chisels are going to get a little bit more work, but also I need water. Really need water. So, my rough one. Or, ooh, maybe. Yeah, you've definitely seen some use. 3/4. So, we're going to just get into this. Doing what we were doing earlier. Just trying to do really smooth, really steady strokes is what you want to do for your chisel. And we're also going to give this one a little bit of love, primarily because I've been using this guy a lot. I've been using a lot of my mid-sized chisels for the Japanese Sawhorse build. So these are the ones I really got to focus on and getting them nice and sharp. Yeah, that's looking. And the thing is with whetstone, water is the lubricant. And if your stone dries out, it will not cut as well. You really want to avoid that outcome. So, what you do is, you can either dip your stone into your water. My water is this little can over here, or you can just grab like a little bit of water. Just the water that sticks to your fingers is enough to bend it up a little bit. Oh. Okay, what we got? Oh, definitely better edge, but it doesn't feel like remotely sharp though. Make happen though. We're gonna get this sharp, so that way I can finish up the Japanese sawhorse build, because that gets water. That's all you gotta do. Just sprinkle a little bit more water on it. You'll kind of feel a little bit more resistance if it dries out. So you can just splash a little bit of water on, and you'll be good. Oh. Hey! Be moving on me, workbench. I think after this one, we'll check out the... Owie. Ooh. Okay. So, you can see this. Might be very faint. You can kind of see it. But on the back of the blade, there's a little burr form. I can see it from my side, but you guys can't. I mean, it's this camera doesn't just it's a little short in resolution. You can kind of see it. It's 2 burrs on each side. So I wanted to get that burr across the whole back of the blade. And if I get that burr to the back, then that means I've done my job. But seeing that burr form definitely means I'm moving in the right direction. Because when you get that burr on the back of your blade, that means the material is going to the end of the blade and wrapping over a little bit. And then when you do that last stroke on the back, you remove the burr, and then that's your edge. And that chisel's good to service you well. Project. That good. Actually, I'm gonna that. I feel. There. Do. Give this we'll see what it can do to Paper Coon. Well, that's reasonably sharp. So, yippee! That is one more blade serviced. Put my little blade guard on it. I don't want to ruin my hard work. So, get my diamond plate. And then I'm going to work my kingstone. Just to kind of level it out a little bit. Whoop. Dip it in water. All of that. It's a lot of grit on it. Oh! Yeah. Oh. This is my 1 inch. So let's just do a little bit of evaluating on it. I thought... The thing is, I thought with my chisels, I may have had some that were looking a little worse for wear. But... none of my chisels are really looking all that worse for wear. I'm kind of surprised by that. So... this just means this means the chisel job portion of tonight is relatively easy, which, hey, you know what? I'll take it. Honestly, I mean, not sure how much you guys can tell, but I am starting to feel my throat a little bit. I mean, my voice isn't like too far gone, but definitely I'm still recovering a little bit, so might be. This is going to be a very easygoing stream. Well, it's been. I'm making a. I'm glad I scheduled an easygoing stream. With me being sick and all. And especially, I've got 2 more streams this week. And granted, one of the reasons why I'm doing so many is that I have a trip coming up, and because of that trip, you know, I want to put some work into the channel before I leave, you know? Then when I get back, and then I get look forward to more work. But I am looking forward to doing some more gardening stuff, though. How does that feel? Let's see. Can we make more confetti? Yep. This is a blade that will make confetti. Oh. Okay. Oh. We have one more chisel touched up, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to feel. Should be wiping these down with a paper towel. Really dry them out after wet, but they are chrome vanadium, and that doesn't mean they're like really rust resistant. Granted, I don't have any idea how Harbor Freight got material like this, wood handle, got me 6 of these for $10. Economics or Harbor Freight are very strange, but oh, this one feels pretty good. But I've got my stones out. I have them wet and they're prepared. So I'm just going to go ahead and do what I can to get these touched up because, hey, I'm already doing this, so, you know? Because it actually does take a little while soaking the whetstone for it to fully be ready to work. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay. This and that. Off. Got. Still. We're good, so. First. Ooh, okay. Up. Grab poor Betty. And there we go. That's one more. Bigger and bigger. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna dip the whole whetstone in there. Grab my diamond block. Because I don't think I've actually touched up my chisels at all since I started working on the Japanese sawhorse build series thing. So my chisels are probably deeply overdue for the maintenance they're getting. So hopefully they'll be able to slice through a whole bunch of cedar. Which I certainly hope so, because I am planning to buy some more cedar here in a couple of days. Well, actually a week from now. 1 week from now. I plan to buy more cedar. And I'll have more cedar for more builds. Especially like outdoor stuff, but because I really want to redo... I want to redo the EPA woodshed build. Video. I want to actually make edited video with actual proper B-roll and all that stuff of the build start to finish. All the steps, what to do, because I did learn quite a few things from building the first one. So I want to put some work into doing a second build. That is looking really dry there. I want to fix that. Oh. Okay. See what we got. Okay. I don't know if it's because the back's not flat, but that's this and other chisels were cutting that. Guy needs work. Okay, so give it a few splashes. This guy is still not as sharp as we can get it. So you're gonna take the time and the effort, get it where I want it to be. Because I want this to be sharp when I reach for it, and I need to cut something. Because the Japanese sawhorse build was just kind of like an introduction to joinery for me. And I really want to take my skills to the next step, if you will. Even though my work doesn't look great at all. It doesn't. It truly doesn't. But you know what? I'm happy with it. I'm reasonably happy with it. Nice to be able to okay. So we're taking a look at what right. Yep. So that's reasonably makes confetti. But now that I look at this, I have a little bit of an issue with this corner, but I think I'll just work on touching this up a little bit more, and I'll call it done. Because the vast majority of the blade's sharp. Just I have a corner that's not sharp. So we'll just do a few more strokes, kind of clean it up a bit more, and I'm sure it will be lovely. Well, it will work. It will do what I ask of it, which part of a $10 set of chisels. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, that should reasonably job of fur. Okay. Okay, very nice, very nice. I'm reasonably happy with that. Yay! Ah! But yeah, there we go. We got all the chisels taken care of, sharpened up, cleaned up. I'm gonna put my chisels back in here. Really need to get some water in me. My throat's really drying out. Okay, so I'm actually gonna hit the BRB screen. I'll kind of clean up. I need to hit the restroom, so I'm gonna BRB. I'm gonna kind of clean up a little bit, and then we'll grab the last tool for today. Be the chainsaw. So see y'all in a bit. Okay, so here is Chainsaw Kun. All of his glory. Ain't he pretty? I really like my chainsaw. So, I'm gonna be showing my chainsaw some love. And what I just did was undo the chain break. Thing that lets me chain. And we're gonna be doing a little bit of chainsaw chain sharpening. And grab gloves for this for various reasons. So, there are two components to a chainsaw chain. There are teeth, and then there's the rakers. Teeth, raker, so on and so forth. So, for the purposes of today, we're primarily going to be focusing on the teeth, not the rakers. Every time you for about every 3 times you sharpen your teeth, you'll follow your rakers down 1 time. So I don't think I am violating that rule, so I am just gonna turn this around, kind of get this in a better position for both you guys and me to see. So this is reasonably decent. Some adjustability. So, one thing you may be able to notice is the face alternating directions. This one is facing this way. Next one is facing that way. And kind of like crisscross. That's how the chainsaw works. Oh. I marked the teeth with my Sharpie. The purpose of that is I'm going to start with that tooth. Start on the other side with my... Oh. But yeah. So, here are various fun tools. So, this tool has arrows on either side. Then there's rollers. You can see where the rollers, there's all that dust. Well, that's from the sharpener. So, this here, this is going to get sharpened from that side towards me. And then what these are depth gauges. That's mostly for... That's when we're worried about... That's when we're worried about our rakers. So, see here. And just brace that there. But yeah. So, for chainsaws, it is a few light passes. Ooh, okay. Yep. I thought my chainsaw had enough mass to hold still. It did not. So, we're gonna rely on an old friend here. Mr. Vice. And what I want to do is I want to make sure I get the blade up. Because I want to make sure it just pinches the bar. I don't want it to pinch anything else on. That's going to be the tricky part. Well, that's going to be the fun part for me, because I gotta make sure I get this done right. Ideally, if I did that right, be able to freely move. Which, yay, I can. Okay, cool. So, we are in Lake Flynn. I I have a lot more brace. Oh my. I have a lot more bracing. I can definitely... Ooh, okay. I can definitely do what I need to do. So, for chainsaw chain sharpening, on the number of passes. And that's it. That is chainsaw sharpening 101. That's all you gotta do. You just gotta do a couple of passes. So, how I sharpen my chain is I have my marked tooth. So I find my next my set. I set my gauge, well, my guide, and then I keep sharpening down the line. And then I keep moving. I go through my teeth. Then once I hit this tooth, I know I'm done with one side. And I'm done with the side of the tooth I marked. So. Three. And that's really one of the key components of good chainsaw sharp. Really want to be very focused on your even strokes. Guys, make sure you sharpen all your teeth equal. Now, it is a little awkward for me to be doing this. Yep. And yeah. Doesn't seem like a whole lot. Guess what? That's actually kind of the point. Chainsaws aren't meant to be a pain maintenance. Not meant to be hard to take care of. Because, I mean, you gotta think. Augers. They're at... Hit that light one. They're out in the back working with their chainsaws and such. Don't want to have to do a whole lot just to keep your saw going. And there's also smart things you can do. Not touching dirt with your chainsaw chain. Don't do that. Dirt will dull a chainsaw chain faster than. The number one thing that is like downright ruinous is dirt. Dirt is like the worst. That is the way a chainsaw's cutting tooth is shaped is a bit like a cresting wave. And this round file basically is like the airspace in that cresting wave, and then that goes through and that sharpens the edge. And sometimes this won't always like set fully down, in which case you just gotta like kind of press it. But I'm also not doing this in the super ideal way, but that's what it is. What it is. But yeah, I will say once I get the chainsaw chain done, I'm probably gonna call it today for stream, but that's also because I am definitely feeling my throat after yapping today. Sorry that I'm not like at 100%, but hopefully we'll be at. Hopefully I'll be at 100%. Saturday. Because I am looking forward to Saturday. Saturday's gonna be a fun stream. Saturday's gonna be fun. Plastic. A little bit of plastic from the sheath. I keep it in a, I do keep it in a plastic sheath when I'm not using it. But when I see the teeth making those little like ribbons, that also lets like another way that I know that my chainsaw is sharp. Out. If it jumps out on me, then I just do like slightly pass, just because I really want to make. I really don't want to. But yeah, mess up my work, man. But yeah, just chainsaw sharpening. It's easy. Not hard. Funny, like, you'll go to like some hardware stores and they'll be like, we do chainsaw sharpening. Like, and are out of my. I think one of the reasons why it's skipping a working with it a little too far away, I need to bring it a bit closer. Closer. And what do you know? Almost an immediate improvement. So, there you go. Something feels awkward and isn't working. Adjust yourself, see what results you get, and keep on keeping on. Now, it will seem like it takes a while to get through the chain, which I... Oh, goodness great. Okay. I need water. Okay, just as I said, it takes a while to get through the chain. We've hit our mark too, so that's good. We've got one side of the chain done. Nice and easy. So, for the next side, that there. So, this is the setup for this side. So, earlier, you were coming from here to here. For this side, it's here to there. So, yeah, my chain's gonna want to move on me. That's what chain brakes are for. No, I got it wrong. Go from this side. Okay. It's gonna be fun. Okay, so earlier it was being written. I had a lot of good resistance in this direction, but now I am putting resistance in this direction. My setup is not working to my advantage. So, whenever your setup is not working to your advantage, if you're a smart homesteader, you always change it to being in your advantage once more, because life's hard enough and you don't want to make life harder for yourself and you have to. Break. I have to make sure. There we go. That's what I need. And then I can position. That should be reasonable. Okay, so we'll bring this in. We'll bring this in. Pass here. Yeah, there we go. We got it. We're gonna have a well-loved chainsaw by the end of that. And I'm honestly not gonna lie, I'm gonna kind of get a little bit more quieter because my throat is definitely giving out. So I will be taking it. I will be taking it a bit easier. And drinking plenty of water. Always drink your water, kiddos. Especially if you're under the weather. Woo! Also, I know this seems kind of basic. I don't know. I do think it would be fun at actually maybe make edited out some of the stuff, especially some of the stuff that could be condensed down to like a 3-minute video with no ads. I'm not monetized, and I don't know how I would feel about if I became monetized. I would probably want to keep things real. Information that I put out that I want to share, like this, like how to take care of a chainsaw, stuff like that. Some stuff I will want to be a little bit more open with. Stuff that. Okay, yeah. Let's just say I'm not a fan of ads, and I would, if I get to the point where I'm able to make more stuff, we're gonna... A lot of that stuff is just gonna... not gonna particularly make an effort to monetize that. Because I just want that information to be out there. I want people to take care of their chainsaws. I want people to take care of themselves. I want people to live the best possible life they can. And if people are willing to have me as a part of their best possible life, then that is literally the highest level of compliment someone like me can receive. That is the absolute highest level of compliment that I can. Okay. Insult. Nice. I'm done. But yeah, sharpening a chainsaw, like a lot of work, can be a little tricky, a little finicky. Especially if you sharpen it where you get enough sharpenings in where you have to start worrying about the rakers. And that can be an issue. Boy. Okay. Oh man. Okay. Okay, so I don't see my... Oh! There. There's my Mark II. Okay, so... Every time I think I... really gotta keep a look for it, because when you make it like black like this, it's definitely hard to see, but... And just kind of feel teeth, but yeah, reasonably sharp. Okay, so That is Chainsaw Chain Sharpening 101. But yeah, once again, I am really sorry about not being able to yap a lot during this stream, but I am I am definitely nearing my limit, unfortunately. So, thank you very much for tuning in. Once again, sorry, but unfortunately I've been a bit under the weather, and yeah, I really I gotta take it easy and rest up, so. But I should be, because Tuesday morning was my voice at its worst, so and I've been doing better day after day moving forward. So hopefully by Saturday afternoon, I'll be at 100% and ready to yap a lot and make gyudon with venison. So let me check. I do want to just drop like a quick. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna be at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Similar time to when this stream started, but yeah. So, and whatever you got going on, I hope you're doing your best to take care of yourself and your tools. And yeah, I'll see y'all next one. Okay, bye-bye.